Is Fortnite Mobile coming back? And if it came back, would I play on PC or would I play on mobile? All right, let's talk about this today. We had a big showdown that went down yesterday in a courtroom between Epic and Apple, and it was big news. It was everywhere, all over Twitter. Twitter was blowing up with everything that was going on. There were live streamers literally streaming their reactions to what was going on minute by minute. It was absolutely insane, and here's the rundown and kind of my thoughts on where we're at with everything. All right, first and foremost, I want to cover a couple of rumors. There are a lot of rumors coming out saying that Fortnite Mobile is going to come back on September 28th. I think this rumor came from the court hearing date. They assumed that, oh, this is a court hearing date, therefore it means that mobile's going to come back. Whether Apple wins or Epic wins, it's going to be returned to the App Store. However, and I told everyone this in the background, listen, hearings can get extended. They can become more hearings. And it's just one of those things where court takes a long time. So unfortunately, that rumor of Fortnite Mobile's coming back on the 28th was absolutely not accurate. Of course, it was possible. In fact, during the courtroom hearing in front of the judge, Apple went and said, listen, we'll put the app, Fortnite, back on our App Store. All they have to do, all Epic has to do is revert back to their old payment system and we're good to go. We approve. We got it. We're good to go. And Epic, again, after being offered this again, they denied and they said no. And so that's kind of where we're at. Now we're sitting here going, okay, well, if Fortnite Mobile's not coming back on the 28th, then what? What's going to happen moving forward? Okay, let's talk about what happened yesterday on the 28th of September. Obviously, court hearing went down between Epic and Apple. So many shots were fired, punches were thrown in front of a judge, basically trying to fight for their arguments and for their cases, saying whether or not Apple is in the right or Epic is in the right. Now, I don't know how you guys are feeling. Those of you who are watching this, you're probably a mobile player if you're watching this. I don't know how you're feeling about the court or the case. I personally have been trying to stay as unbiased as possible. I know as a mobile player myself, as a Fortnite enthusiast myself, I of course want to just root for Epic and say, yes, Epic's in the right. Please bring back Fortnite. Apple just needs to give them what they want so that they can make it happen. But of course, that's not always the case. That doesn't always work out that way. And I'm trying to stay as unbiased as possible. I'm looking at this case from a third-party perspective. But just to help you give a rundown of what's going on, here are the details. So basically yesterday, there was an Epic versus Apple case, as I've mentioned. Here's what happened during that courtroom. A couple of key factors that I want to mention here. A lot of lawyers have come out who have reviewed the cases and reviewed what's going on, who are YouTubers, have actually said Epic doesn't have a very strong case. And here's why I actually agree with them. Epic's kind of coming out and saying, listen, Apple is being a monopolist. They're taking ownership of the whole app development space on iPhones and iPads and just all of their devices. They're making it so that it's not a competitive place for pricing, so that we don't have to pay the 30% to Apple, so that it can kind of come down a little bit, because that's what happens when businesses compete with each other. It makes it so the pricing and the features and everything involved are better for the consumers, which is us, the video gamers, the people playing the game on our mobile devices. It makes it better for us when there's competition, because it makes it so they have to fight to make it more appeasing, so that if there was another app store that was used through the iOS devices that had lower prices, then Apple of course would have to bring down their prices and wouldn't have to have it be 30%, which is what they're taking from any in-app purchases made through Fortnite right now. And if you didn't already know, and I mentioned this on one of my previous videos, that came up to almost $400 million. Since Fortnite Mobile was added to the App Store, Apple alone has made that much from Fortnite, from y'all. Spending your money on skins and wonderful emotes and back blings and pickaxes. It's crazy to think about how much money has been spent and made through this game, through us playing this game, through a free game, might I mention too, and that's just through Apple. And so of course Epic's trying to come out and saying this is unfair, it's not competitive pricing, it's monopolized. And I know that we're using some big words here, but basically what it comes down to is they're trying to fight to make it so that they don't have to pay as much. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on here is that A lot of comments are being made on my TikToks, both on my live streams and on my videos. And a lot of you are commenting saying that, Apple is just being greedy. They're trying to ask for too much. And basically, after what I just said, it kind of seems like that aligns. But here's what I want to say to that. Video games used to not make as much as they do. When you used to go buy a video game, you'd have to go buy it in a cardboard box at an actual physical store. And for a video game developer to get their game in that store, it cost them so much money to get it physically made, to get it sent to the store, to get it shipped to the consumer, to the customer, if that needed to be an option as well. It cost them a lot. And so they actually took a smaller portion than what they're taking today. Apple and other amazing stores like Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, Apple, Google, all of these different online digital stores have made it so that it's so much cheaper for app developers to make and distribute their games, which means they're actually making more money than they would have in the past, a long time ago, right? A long time ago. It actually hasn't been that long, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. So if you look at it in that perspective, Apple actually is doing a service, not to mention the actual service that they're providing, which is why they're charging the amount that they're charging. Again, I'm speaking to everyone talking about that they're just being greedy, they're just being, money hungry. They're actually providing a service here. Let's not forget that. If you go to your Apple device, my iPhone, if I go to the App Store, I know that any app that I download onto my device is safe and secure because Apple screens them meticulously. They actually go through and make sure there's no malware, there's no viruses, there's nothing that's going to corrupt or break my phone. You can't say the same for Androids, right? When you go to Google and you actually side download an app to your Android device, not through their App Store, or even sometimes through their Google Play Store, sometimes it can ruin your phone or cause problems on your phone or break it. And so you have to undownload it or clean it, or just a whole mess sometimes. Not always, but sometimes you're always at that risk, right? So that is a service that Apple is actually providing. They're making sure that they're screening all of these apps. So before you go ahead and go, oh, well, Apple's just being money hungry, they just want their 30% and they're just being crazy about it, understand that they are providing a service, and on top of that, they're actually making it cheaper than what it used to be in the past. App developers such as Epic Games, who creates a game such as Fortnite, are actually making more money off of their game than they would if they created it like a physical game that you had to go buy at the store, bring home, and put it in your console or whatever device it is that you're playing on. This wasn't always available. That said, though, another argument that can be made that I feel like, from my perspective, from what I'm seeing, is that it's cheaper than it used to be, so why not continue to make it cheaper? Does that make sense? So even though it used to cost app developers a whole lot to get their game created and shipped, now it costs a little bit less, so why not continue to evolve and make it so that maybe Apple and other platforms like the PlayStation Store, Xbox, the Google Play Store, maybe they should be lowering their prices a little bit as time continues. But of course, that is also not always fair to them because, they are a business too. Let's be honest. Let's be fair to them as well. So those are some of the arguments that I felt like I could see from my perspective after going through all this information that's going on. And of course, they're arguing a lot of different points within the courtroom. And I'm not going to bore you guys with too many details. But basically what it ended on yesterday is that they're having more court hearing dates. I believe one was scheduled for October. I'm not completely sure. I saw a headline somewhere saying that might be one in July of next year. I don't know how true that is, but basically what it comes down to, it doesn't matter what dates or how many more hearings we have. Fortnite Mobile could come back at any time. So here's one thing I want to say to mobile players. So many of you are discouraged, and so many of you are saying, oh, well, it's probably not going to come back for another year, which is possible. Don't get me wrong, and I was even saying that on my live stream the other day. It's possible this could take a year for Fortnite Mobile to come back. It could happen. But it could also come back tomorrow. If Epic decided to concede and listen to Apple and revert back to their old payment system, we could probably have Fortnite back in the App Store today or tomorrow if they wanted to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to pursue this as far as they can because this is much bigger than just Fortnite. It's much bigger than just Epic Games or Apple even. Let's say for kicks and giggles that Epic were to win this case, it would open up to so many other apps and game developers and just app developers in general to argue the same and say, hey, they get a discounted price, so we should too. Let's go ahead and just lower all the prices altogether. It would completely change the game for app developers. So this is a big fight that Epic is fighting. I commend it. I'm not saying it's 100% in the right, but it's a big fight. That's why they probably haven't just gone, all right, fine, we'll revert back. It's good. You can have your payment system back and we'll revert it back to what it used to be. Let's go ahead and put the app back. They're probably not doing that for a reason. And that's that they're fighting a bigger fight than what's going on. So let's understand that Apple has a walled garden, what's called a walled garden, basically making it so that it's a safe and secure area for us to download apps onto our devices so that we know that we can safely use them and it's not going to hurt our devices or hurt our phones, okay? But let's also understand that Epic is fighting a good fight that other app developers such as Spotify and Netflix have had problems with too, and Amazon, except for the difference with Amazon is Amazon got away with going to Apple and saying, listen, we've got a big customer base. We want a discount, or we want our own agreement beyond the 30%. Let's make that happen. And they did. Amazon, I believe, was able to make a deal. And so Epic's kind of coming out and saying, well, okay, you're making special deals for them, not for us. Anyway, it's a whole mess. So basically, that's what happened with the hearing. I know I spoke really quickly on it, but I don't want to bore you with too many details. I just wanted to share some of my perspective and some of the things that I've been seeing and maybe my thoughts on some of the items, and also reply to some of your comments, such as Apple's being greedy or Epic's being greedy. They both want money. Let's be clear. It's not just Apple being greedy. Epic will make more money by issuing their new payment processing system, even with giving us a discount. Remember how Epic came out with this new discount, so V-Bucks are a lot cheaper now? They're still making more money than they would. I mean, if Fortnite was in the App Store, of course. Right now they're losing money because it's not. But if it was, they'd be making more money because it's 20% discount, and they were paying 30% to Apple. So if you do the math there, and of course, there's a lot of other things involved than just that. But that alone kind of says a lot. All right. What does this mean moving forward? As a mobile player myself, I've played on my mobile device since Season 4. And then I switched over to iPad March of this year. So I understand your pain. I've been a mobile player through and through from the get since I started Fortnite, which was years ago. I've enjoyed this game, and I've enjoyed this game on this specific platform. I love playing on my iPad. I know a lot of you enjoy playing mobile. I've spoken to so many of you, and you've actually told me that you've switched to console or to PC or to Switch, and you actually miss mobile. Even though you can get better at the game on a different platform, because mobile does have some things that holds us back as players, as skill level players, we just love it. I don't know what it is. The mobile community is so freaking strong, and I love it to death. So that said, what does this mean moving forward? Mobile is not returning yet. That doesn't mean you don't have the game. You have it still on your device. As long as you don't delete it, you can still play in Season 3 with other iOS players. But it's not returning to the App Store anytime soon, which means we cannot update our game, which means we cannot move on to Season 4, and I'm so sorry for that. You do need to go get on another platform. You can connect and log into your mobile account. One thing that I've noticed a lot of you don't understand is you can log into your mobile account onto a PC or onto a console or onto a Switch. You can log in to your account on another platform. So don't worry, all of the money that you've spent on your account hasn't just gone away. It's not just disappeared on you. But yeah, you can still log into another platform, but you do need to move on to another platform. Now, that said, I have no idea when mobile's coming back, and nobody else does either. I've noticed so many other content creators saying, oh, well, it's coming back on this day because that's when the next court hearing is. Or it's probably coming back in a year because even I've said it could take up to a year for this all to get cleared up. Nobody knows for certain. Nobody knows when it's coming back. All we have to do is wait and see how things play out. Now, what does this mean for me personally moving forward? I've noticed a tweet that Ducky the Gamer sent out yesterday saying, listen, thank you, mobile. I want to share my gratitude for mobile and for the community and for the ability that it's given me to build what he's built so far. And I absolutely loved that. And that's kind of similar to how I'm feeling. Even though I haven't been doing this as long as Ducky the Gamer, Surfin' Boy, Grant the Goats, some really amazing mobile players, I've so loved this. I've loved playing on this platform. I've loved creating videos for you guys, creating tutorials for you guys. I've created so many tutorials on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, trying to help you guys get better at mobile. As I was trying to get better at mobile, I was trying so hard to make this platform work and to prove that we weren't actually bad at the game. In some cases, we were able to do that. And I'm so proud of that. I love that. That makes me so freaking happy. You have no idea. But, you know, while I'm grateful for it, I do know that it might not work out. We might have to move on. And that's incredibly sad and disheartening. But I've already moved on to playing on PC while still playing on mobile. I'm still playing on mobile. Don't worry, mobiles. I'm still here. I've had a lot of you comments saying, oh, I'm so sad you're not playing on mobile anymore. I still do. In fact, I host customs on my TikTok lives, on my Twitch lives, both for PC and for mobile all the time. And on my Discord. No worries, I got you. So make sure you go and follow me over there on TikTok. I'm especially doing mobile on TikTok. Also join the Discord because we host customs there. But that said, for me personally, you know, I started off this video with the question, if mobile were to come back, would I switch to PC or would I switch back to mobile? And this is the age-old question that I just get all the time lately. And my answer is I would still play both. I have a huge love for mobile. I don't know what it is. I'm just attached to it. I love playing on it. I love the community. I love creating tutorials for you guys. PC is also really fun to play on. I just love this game in general. But yeah, mobile I definitely have a love for. So if we were to come back, I think I'd be doing both. Until then, though, I'm going to be doing both, mainly on PC, though. But I'm not giving up completely on the mobile community. I know some other content creators have. Not all, though. Some are still here, including myself, so you can continue to depend on me to do some mobile customs for y'all. Also, I'll try and do tutorials whenever I can, if possible. I know that not a lot is changing right now, so there's not a whole lot to speak on. But I'll still host those customs for y'all, and of course we'll still do PC customs, so if you do move on to a platform like me, we can do some of that too. So there's everything you need to know about Epic versus Apple. Of course, there's actually so much more information that I didn't even cover here. There's so much, so make sure you go and be knowledgeable and go and actually learn before you judge either side, because I feel like both are in the wrong and both have their point of views and both have their points. All right, that said, mobiles, I'm really sorry. I love you all to death, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the game like I have, but if you don't, you move on to another game, that's fine too. Just find something that you enjoy and that keeps you sane during the pandemic and during 2020, okay? That's all I have to say about that. Have an amazing day. Make sure you subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it or if you found it informative in any way, shape, or form. I enjoy and appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you over on my next TikTok Live.